Welcome everyone for this session on not only on MARMA but also on how to live a more vibrant life, more energized life in every way. So it will be, I hope English is comfortable in case anyone has any questions ever during the session in Hindi also, then they are free to ask in Hindi or talk in Hindi, and we will be bilingual. So I start with a couplet which is normally used at the beginning of all my sessions, and it goes like this: हर हरकत के मूल में कारण सच्चा देख, बिन कारण संसार में पत्ता हिले ना एक. So behind the movement of every leaf in this creation, there is a reason. Nothing happens in this creation without a reason. So life becomes simpler, easier, when we start looking for reasons within. Otherwise, most often we are looking for reasons outside for whatever is happening with us in our lives. So the concept of living a vibrant life in any role that you play, it could be the role of a student, role of an educator, role of a parent, role of somebody who's walking on a spiritual journey, whatever. In whatever profession, whatever role, whatever strata of life, whatever age group you may belong to, the concept of living a vibrant life is about being full of energy, physically as well as mentally. And as we start working, as we start going forward after our studies into life, and we start getting more involved in making a living, we realize that the energy that we were earlier taking for granted during our younger days is not that easily available. We feel very easily drained, very easily drained of all energies, drained of all zest for life. Now it could happen to somebody in their 20s, it could happen to somebody in their 30s. I've seen youngsters nowadays in their teens who are in that situation where they just don't feel any energy, their shoulders droop, they seem completely devoid of any zest for life, which is very sad because right up to our student days and even beyond, one was supposed to have that zest for life, that enthusiasm. The moment you wake up in the morning, within a couple of minutes, you just want to be up and about. And that's not something which should change as you age. Of course, there does come a stage in life where that starts diminishing very quickly. It cannot be stopped, it can be delayed. But it's unfortunate if somebody starts experiencing that much earlier in life, in their 20s, 30s, 40s. And especially, this has special relevance to parents of special needs children, special needs individuals, as well as special educators. And why would that be? That is because they're in a special situation. And that special situation is that their challenges are slightly more than the challenges faced by others. Does that mean that they're at a disadvantage? Completely depends on the perspective that you take. If you look at the challenge as an opportunity, because behind every challenge in life there lies an opportunity. And what is that opportunity? The opportunity is to go through that challenge, face that challenge head on, and that challenge can empower you to then take on anything else that life will then throw at you. But that requires the right mindset. It requires the right vocabulary. So I hear people who are always talking about challenges in terms of problems. Life is, very problematic. It will be problematic. Life is very, very miserable. It will be miserable. If you call it such, it will become that. If you change your vocabulary, that's at a very gross level. What I'm sharing with you is something at a very gross level. So this whole process is from the gross to the subtle. So we'll start with the gross, and then gradually, as much as we can, we'll go to the subtler level. So at a very gross level, we change our vocabulary. We change our very habits, our physical habits. Can it be changed? It's difficult, but not impossible. And what is the challenge there? The challenge is the conditioning that we have to break. Okay? So let's just understand in terms of the conditioning. Child is constantly throwing up new challenges, some known, some unknown, towards their caregiver. So many are mentally prepared to some extent, but they may not be entirely prepared for what has to come, because a lot of those challenges are not as per the book. Plus they look at others who may be in a situation where things are more streamlined in their life. Parents of other children who are experiencing things in a more streamlined manner, and then they compare.
They also, am I audible in the back?
Yes.
They'll also feel, or they will be anxious about what will happen
To their child when they grow older. What will happen to their child? I'm referring now to the parents. So the challenges for the parents and the educators, the special needs educators, will be slightly different because of the connection they have, the emotional connect with the child. Parents, of course, are much more deeply invested in their child for obvious reasons. A special educator may not be. If they understand the opportunity that they have at hand through their profession, they will be more connected. We will discuss about that as we go on. So for a parent first, what are the challenges as I understand? And of course, I'm open to add more challenges to this list. So the challenges which I understand for a parent of a special needs child would be as follows. One, the anxiety of what's going to happen to their child when they are not as energized or they are not as physically capable to look after them. So as the aging process goes on, their energies will deplete. They will not be in a situation to take care of them to the extent they are able to do now, and then there will come a time in life when they'll have to move on from this life, and that's another anxiety. What's going to happen to my child when I'm not there? And then everyday routine, the child is doing something which can be damaging to the self or to others. That's another challenge which they have to face with on a daily basis. A lot of undesirable, unwanted things that the child might do. Unwanted, undesirable. And when that happens, it tests the parents' limits every day, which are already stretched, very thin. They get further stretched. They get further, limits are further pushed. Some reach the breaking point and they start experiencing the burnout of this testing and pushing of their limits, and they start experiencing some of the trauma or much of the trauma. Of course, the child is not going through any trauma, as I understand it. The child is in a different zone. He or she is not aware of much of what he or she is doing. But those around, they bear the brunt. And it starts impacting their mental makeup if they're not properly equipped to replenish their mental energies, to address the scars that may be left on their mind in this process of caregiving. And this is especially true for the parents. For the special educators, there might be some physical scars here and there. They might get bitten, they might get hit, etc. That'll heal. Parents, the scars are deeper. And if they're not careful, those scars, they are very deep-rooted mental formations. In another term, they're called sanskars, karam sanskars, which they are creating because of the inability to stop reacting. They're constantly reacting to situations because they haven't trained themselves to be in another way. So there is a distinction between reacting and responding. So to be able to respond optimally without damaging yourself or damaging somebody else, you need to be connected. You need to be aware. You need to be present. You need to be connected to this consciousness within, this awareness within. So earlier I was with Dr. Priyanka, and she shared with me the concept of HRE. HRE, right? So the gist of that concept is how to be more vibrant, more energized, happier. Happy, resilient and excited, or? Okay. So the essence of that is how to be more energized and how to be more compassionate, how to be more giving, more empathetic. So the E can have various spin-offs. It could also be energized, it could be empathetic, etc. So how to do that? So there is a very clear connection between that concept and what we'll be discussing in the session today. And I'm not very familiar with this concept of HRE, but this essence is the same. So maybe you'll find some alignment with what we shall discuss. So there's a distinction between reacting and being responsive. And the distinction is, when you react, you're partially or entirely out of control over what you're saying or doing in those few moments. Partially or entirely out of control over what you are saying or doing in those few moments when you're reacting. So a child is behaving in a very unruly manner, and because of which you react. He's already tested your patience. You've tried all that you learned in your training to make him relaxed, and yet he doesn't know the rule book that you have learned. He is not aware of the training that you've undergone, and he won't, even if he is aware, he'll not play by the rule books of the game. There are no rules for him. Yeah? So he'll continue to do things as he deems fit, and when he does, you will react, maybe many times in the day. Many times in the day, you will react, and whenever you react, you will first inflict damage on yourself, and then you will inflict damage on the child, maybe not physically, but with the words that you say or the way you interact with the child. It will not be coming from that place of compassion, because you are reacting. You might come out of that reactionary mood within a couple of moments if you are really aware, but it could continue also. It could continue if that provocation was intense enough. So if a child comes and headbutts you, or pushes you and you fall and you hurt yourself, or comes and punches you, whatever, you're dealing with children who will have surprises every moment in store for you. Something new from their goodie bag. So you can carry that hurt or that mental pain for a while. You continue reacting. And when you continue reacting, not only that, subsequent days, for weeks, if it was intense enough, for months, the more you get linked to that incident, to that episode, when that episode happened, the more you're creating mental formations with it. It's very important to understand the concept of mind, because you're dealing, as educators, everyone deals with the mind of who they are interacting with. But especially as special needs educators and parents, you have to take that into cognizance, not only for the child, but for your own self. Very important. So, and what does that do? If you do not take cognizance of this concept of the mind and the mental formations that are forming, over a period of time, they will lead to psychosomatic problems. So when one is young, then they may not manifest as prominently. Maybe you just have some stiffness around the neck, around the shoulders, occasional lower back problem, maybe things like this. But gradually, as you progress in age and in terms of your experience, it will just get more and more intense. You might get frozen shoulder, you might get cervical problems, you might have sciatica, various lower back problems, etc., etc. And then it can go deeper. So, how can one be proactive, and how can one be in a mode where you are responding rather than reacting? Very simply, by connecting to the present moment, by remaining connected. It doesn't work that easily. You might have even read books like The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Very powerful book, gives a very powerful message, but how to internalize it is the big challenge. Very impressive when we read it, but when we try to really put it into practice, then we start to struggle. And why do we struggle? Because of past conditioning. The past conditioning is so intense. Firstly, whenever you try to connect to the now, it will just sweep you off your feet when you are trying to do that process. How will it sweep you off your feet? Our conditioning is to either stay in the past or in the future. Constantly, past or the future. Some of you, even right now, might be thinking about something that you have to do when you finish with this session. You're perhaps expecting something different, and it's turning out to be less than what you expected, not as interesting, etc. And then you're looking at your time. Okay, when is the tea going to be served? When will the break happen, etc. So you're already in the future. Or you'll be thinking about the past, what you were doing before you came in, etc. So constantly, 99.99% or even beyond of this global population, they are in the past or the future for a large chunk of their life. Large chunk of their life. It's only a very small percentage of life where you're in the now, in the present. And those are magical moments. When you are in the now, the magic that happens is you are completely, or to a large extent, in a tranquil state. You are at peace. And whenever you are tranquil, whenever you are at peace, you will experience energy. The deeper your tranquility, the deeper your sense of peace, the deeper would be the sense of energy that you will experience. So if you connect to yourselves for a few minutes, the tranquility that will stay with you would be for a few hours. That energy that you feel would be for a few hours. If you connect even deeply, then the energy, that sense of tranquility can stay with you for days. So there is no limit to how much you can energize yourself. But it requires a lot of rigor. A lot of patience, and of course, a lot of motivation. Other aspect that we were talking about earlier was compassion. So you have to have compassion, of course, for the child. But more importantly, you have to have compassion for yourself. You cannot have compassion for somebody else if you don't have compassion for yourself. If I'm miserable inside, if I'm at war with my own emotions, then it will be very, very difficult for me to be empathetic towards somebody else, because already there's chaos within myself. To have empathy for somebody else would be quite a stretch. But if I have tranquility within, I have compassion for myself, then I'll be able to share that, because I can share whatever I have. Somebody who has money will be able to share it. Somebody who has food will be able to share it. Somebody who has love will be able to share it. If I don't have money, I can't share it. If I don't have food, I can't share it with somebody else. If I don't have love and compassion within me, I will not be able to share it with somebody else. So it's a practice which one has to do in terms of opening up the heart. So if you start gradually going deeper with this practice of connecting with the present, remaining more aware, and practicing that, remaining in that state of serving. So you have this opportunity which I talked about earlier. What is a rare opportunity for the parents and the other caregivers? It is this opportunity to serve. So educators, doctors get paid for actually enriching their lives. How? Because they have that rare opportunity where they can touch lives and transform them. They can touch lives very deeply. And when you have the right volition, not only are you able to touch those lives very deeply, you are able to transform them deeply, you are able to transform yourself. You are able to add tremendous value to your own life. So it might sound very theoretical, but once you start experiencing it, if somebody feels that joy when you are giving, you feel that joy when you are working, then work stops becoming a drag. Then it's not something that you dread going to every morning. Because you know that today, again, you will be going to that institution or that place of work, and you will have that rare opportunity which most of the professionals don't have, to add value to somebody's life. And through that, you are adding value to your own life. Be absolutely clear, and behind every consequence, every fruit there is that comes into your life, इसको हिंदी में कर्म फल कहते हैं। हर एक कर्म का जो फल होता है, उसका बीज है आपके मन की क्या इच्छा थी, इंटेंशन थी, वॉल्यूशन थी, आपके मन की क्या अंदर चेतना थी उस समय जब आपने वो बीज बोया, जब वो आपने कर्म किया. So your intention is paramount. Now you can reach out to that child because your volition is, okay, it's my job, I get that salary at the end of the month and I have to do it without risking, my profession in the best possible way. That's one. Or you feel that, hey, I have this opportunity, salary तो मेरे को मिल ही रही है, but मेरे पास ये rare opportunity है कि इस माध्यम से जो मैं रोज कर रहा हूँ या कर रही हूँ, मुझे ये मौका मिला है कि मैं अपने लाइफ को और सुंदर बनाऊँ और जॉयफुल बनाऊँ और एनर्जाइज्ड बनाऊँ. एंड इट्स लॉ ऑफ नेचर, कुदरत का ये नियम है. जो आप दोगे, जिस इच्छा से दोगे, जो आप दोगे, वो घूम के वैसे ही आपके पास वापस आएगा. Whatever you send out will come back to you. It is even said, if you give somebody who is thirsty, if you offer him water when somebody is really thirsty, then nature will make sure that you are provided with water, even if you're going through a vast desert, thousands of miles, no water, no oasis anywhere. When you are thirsty, nature will make sure that you will get water in that situation. Because sometime in the past could be this life, or it could be past another life, if you believe in rebirth. Sometime in the past, you did something meritorious, you helped somebody, and nature will make sure you get help when you need it. So that's one. I just pause in case anyone has any questions, any thoughts about what I've shared, then you can ask. Else we move on to the aspect of using MARMA for the special needs children and understanding that concept. And then of course we'll come back to this discussion subsequently. Yes, please.
I think when you say cycles of coming back, when you what you create comes back, if the recognition of it coming back is very hard. The way it comes back is hard. It doesn't come in real time. It doesn't come immediately. It doesn't come. So how do we be sure that these cycles exist or they are?
Yeah.
What do we, okay, like what ordinances mean?
Right.
That it is a cycle and it feeds itself, so to say.
Right, very good question. So, if it's an alien concept to someone, and they may say, hey, this कर्म फल वाली जो थ्योरी है, मैं तो इसमें नहीं विश्वास करता, तो मैं कैसे कन्विंस हो जाऊं कि जो मैंने कर्म किया है उसका ये फल मिलेगा या उसकी साइकिल ऐसे चलती है. So again, the example which can be given is again the seed. The seed which we sow shall sooner or later, in due course of time, grow up into a tree and give fruit whose essence will be the same as the essence of the seed which was sown. That is law of nature. So if the essence of the seed which has been sown is bitter, it's a neem seed. And after 10 years or 15 years, when it's a full-grown tree, almost every part of that tree will have that bitterness which the seed had, because that is the essence of that seed which is now permeating every part of that tree. I might go around that tree 108 times, 1008 times, 1,08 times, prostrate myself 5 times in front of the tree, light a candle morning and evening, recite mantras, etc. That may this neem tree give me some sweet fruit. It will not. The reason is because the seed which is at the root of this tree, which is why this tree came up, was having that as the essence, bitterness. If I sow a seed of a mango, that seed will sprout up, mangoes will come, they will be sweet depending on what the variety, etc. It will all be sweet. I don't have to take 108 rounds, 1008 rounds, or prostrate myself, or light a jyot or a lamp or a candle. That is the law of nature. And we are also part of that nature. So whatever actions that we are doing at the level of the mind, speech and the body are like the seeds which we are sowing. And just like in due course of time, for a tree it might take 5 to 10 years, 15 years to give fruit. Our fruits of our actions are multifold. One is immediate. So we do something wholesome, we will get the fruit immediately. What is the immediate fruit we'll get? We will have peace. We will experience joy if what we've done is wholesome. We will have satisfaction, joy, peace, energy. Some of the terms that come to mind, immediately we will get that. On the contrary, if we do something unwholesome, we will lose our peace. We will be in a state of disarray. There will be chaos within because we've done something unwholesome. We will not be at peace. Immediately, nature will give us the fruit. And then subsequently, when that seed ripens and in due course of time gives the fruit, then again we will get the fruit, which is exactly similar in essence to what the essence of the seed was. So, if one believes that nature works within and without, and it's very scientific, then I think we will be able to accept it in this way. And of course, there are certain actions, there are certain seeds which we sow, which can be so intense that they keep on giving fruit repeatedly. Please understand with this example. So, बरगद का पेड़ है, छोटे से बीज से एक विशाल बरगद का पेड़ बनता है. उस बरगद के पेड़ में उसकी and the life of that tree can be more than a few hundred years, I think. Yeah. In its lifetime, maybe after it starts giving fruit, every year it will have hundreds of fruits. Every year. Each fruit will have many seeds. When that fruit falls on the ground, those seeds scatter. Each seed has the capacity to grow into another tree. So in its lifetime, that one tree has the potential to give birth to give rise to countless other trees, countless other fruits. And we understand that in our life, when we have clarity that whatever is happening in my life now is the consequence of the choices that I made in the past. Very clear. I made certain choices and this is the result of those choices. So those choices that I made in the past are like the seeds which I sowed. And now I'm getting the fruit of that. When that fruit comes, it could be wholesome, it could be desirable, undesirable. If it is undesirable, I will react again. When I react, I am sowing similar seeds again. So, kahani suni, Rakt Beej. So there is this story in our Indian tradition of Rakt Beej, that demon. उसको था उसका सर जहाँ पे भी कट के उसके ब्लड की ड्रॉप गिरेगी, हर एक ड्रॉप में से there will be many more demons which will spring up. So what Mata did, Kali Ma, she is shown with a khadak and a kapal. So she would cut the head and catch every drop of blood to prevent it falling from the soil. Yeah, because that will then multiply the demons. Now, that's an explanation given in abstract form for what is happening within. So, what is happening within is, बीज बोए हमने, फल आया, फल कड़वा लगा, हमने फिर रिएक्ट किया। क्यों रिएक्ट किया? क्योंकि कड़वे फल तो अधिकतर किसी को पसंद नहीं है, कड़वाहट जीवन में किसी को पसंद नहीं है। जब कड़वाहट आती है तब हम रिएक्ट करते हैं। रिएक्ट किया तो वही बीज अपने मन के सॉइल में और बो दिए। तो इट्स कॉन्स्टेंटली मल्टीप्लाइंग that one seed leads to, that one bargad seed leads to thousands of similar trees in the future in that same manner. When you don't react, you catch every drop of that blood in that kapal. Then it stops perpetuating endlessly. It doesn't fall on the fertile ground. What is the fertile ground in our mind? The fertile ground is where our conditioning of reaction lies. So the moment we react, another seed, another seed, another seed. We react and we don't stop at reacting once. Somebody is nasty with me once. Somebody said something to hurt me once. So it hurt me once. That person said or did what he or she had to do and went away. I will not let go of that person or that incident for the rest of my life. What will I do? I will keep on thinking about that incident. This happened to me when I was young. That person said this to me, hurt me so much. I will never forgive him. I will never let go of that hurt. And we allow one incident or many such incidents to completely ruin our life. We just hold on to them. It's like a story of this man holding on to a tree and then shouting, मुझे पेड़ ने पकड़ लिया, मुझे पेड़ ने पकड़ लिया, कोई बचाओ, कोई छुड़ाओ. And all the villagers gathered around him. भाई उसको आपने पकड़ा हुआ है, छोड़ दो उसको. नहीं नहीं नहीं, ये पेड़ मुझे छोड़ नहीं रहा, मुझे छुड़ाओ. Then there was a sadhu, a wise man. In ancient times, sadhus were also wise. So he was going with his chimta. They used to carry those chimtas, tongs. So he took that chimta and he gave him a whack on his back. Nice whack, and that he immediately let go of that tree and he fell on the feet of the sadhu. आपने मुझे बचा दिया. He said, मैंने तो कुछ नहीं किया, तुमने ही अपने पागलपन में उसको पकड़ा हुआ था. So we just hold on to things and we don't let go and we suffer. We suffer. We don't even realize that we are suffering because of our inability to let go. And that suffering continues for a lifetime because we refuse to let go, because we are completely unable to understand how much capacity we have to damage ourselves. So anyways, I think I digressed a bit, but I don't know if that long drawn answer addresses your question. So I've been handed that break at 11:40, but I can't see a clock around. क्या बजा भैया? 10 minutes, okay. So 15 minutes. Yes, please.
Sir, it's very easy to say let it go, but in daily life, is it possible?
Definitely possible.
How, sir?
Difficult, but not impossible. Because when you understand that when you don't let go, you are damaging yourself. जब वो बात अभी तो मैंने आपको बताई है, आपने इंटेलेक्चुअल लेवल पे शायद थोड़ी बहुत मानी नहीं मानी वो आपको मालूम होगा, बट इंटेलेक्चुअल लेवल पे बात लॉजिकल शायद लगी, तभी आपने क्वेश्चन पूछा, है ना. लेकिन इंटेलेक्चुअल लेवल पे जानना अलग है और एक्सपीरियंशियल लेवल पे उस बात को एक्सपीरियंस करके मानना अलग है.
I am experiencing.
If you
That's why
experience, then you will be motivated. Yeah, sorry.
That's why I'm asking, it's quite difficult to do in daily life.
It
I
is.
understand we are harming ourselves,
Yes.
but still let go each and everything negative.
Yes.
It's just compromising.
Okay. So there is a distinction here on what you are compromising or what you call compromising in this situation. So it doesn't mean let go means passive, you become like a vegetable and people come and chop you up and walk away with a smile. No. You choose when you have to respond and you respond appropriately with all your might. But you choose when you have to respond and you choose when not to react or not to react. That's a choice which you can make. Whether you react or not, you always have a choice in life, always. So there is a very clear distinction. I am not proposing at all that you become that vegetable and you allow people to just walk all over you. So you will have the inner strength to face up when it matters, when it is of consequence, when it is critical, when you know, now this is important for me, I will stand up, regardless of what the consequences are. So you will have that inner strength. But what is not important, you will just let it slide. Like water over duck's back, so more water over duck's back. But when it, so there's this example given in one of his books. So we have these daily sessions, meditation sessions, and after that we do some reading. So one of those readings is this example of two ducks quarreling. And after quarreling, both of them turned in opposite directions, swam for a few meters, and then flapped their wings, and then came back and did some talking, and then they again started gliding on the water together. So the gist of that example is, be like that duck. Whatever is there, just flap it off. Not easy, not easy. And it's not easy because of our conditioning. Our past conditioning is to hold on, to not let go. But this whole journey, if you want to add value to your life, if you truly want to live a life which is full of vibrant, energy, full of vibrancy, and that vibrancy can remain right up to the moment you breathe your last. Right up to that moment, you can have that vibrancy till the time you are conscious. You go into a coma because age-related issues or whatever, accident or whatever. And of course, it's a different thing. Maybe at a deeper level, you're still, it's not just your conscious level. When you start doing some of these practices, not only are you joyous, tranquil, energized at the surface level, gradually that starts percolating to the depths of the mind. That awareness doesn't just remain limited to the surface of the mind. Its benefits are there at the deeper recesses of the mind. And who knows, if even in that state, so one can experience it. Even while you're sleeping, you can be absolutely aware of what's happening. And you will maybe have a sleepless night, so I'll share. So I'd gone for some workshops, advanced workshops recently. And for some reason, there was something about the energies there. For 3 nights I was there and I couldn't sleep for those 3 nights off. And 3 nights, 4 days. 3 nights, 3 days. And I was still functional. There was a headache for the entire duration, but I remained functional without taking any medicine at all. That's because the ability to remain aware, even you're not able to get sleep, okay, tossing, turning, just maintaining that connection, remaining aware to whatever is happening in that moment. And when you wake up in the morning, you're not feeling completely drained. Otherwise, I'm sure many of us out here would have experienced this sometime or the other in life, where you just couldn't get sleep on a particular night, and the next day was, hit for a 6, where you were feeling broken, you just didn't have any energy to do what you were supposed to do, etc. But when you gradually start acquiring that ability to remain connected, you can go back home at the end of the day and you can still not feel drained. Now, when you're younger, that may not happen to that extent. But as you move on with age, the energy that you feel after you've finished with a long day's work will not be that high. You will be feeling low in energy by the time you end your day. And especially if you're dealing with such challenges at work, where it's not normal. Anything can come up at any time. You're a special educator, anything can come up, get thrown at you at any time. Life is full of surprises. Your day is full of surprises. So you come back very often. If there are a lot of such surprises during the day, you will feel more drained than otherwise. Some people might have a headache. Some people might feel completely devoid of any, like your batteries have got discharged and you just need to have that cup of tea or that cup of coffee or lie down and just not talk to anyone, etc. What if you are able to remain in that state of being connected throughout the day? Not throughout the day doesn't mean every moment. That is a very high state of being. But in between you are able to do that. When the day ends, you will not have that feeling of being drained. Of course, it's something you have to take my word for it right now. But eventually, when you experience it yourself, then you will. It's like I'm telling you about a fancy fruit which is found in some tropical island. And I'll tell you, oh, it's as sweet as an Alfonso and it's got tanginess of kiwi and this mango and that taste. And you will be imagining in your mind, oh, acha, I had that mango, maybe it's like that. He's saying it's tangy also, oh, so it's like that also. So you think of all various possible combinations of what that fruit might be tasting like. But it's purely a figment of your imagination, right? It's an intellectual exercise till the time you sink your teeth into that fruit. Then it will give you complete clarity of what that taste is. So this experience of bliss, which you can experience by being connected, and it has multiple ramifications in your life as a special educator, as a parent of a special needs child. You have to be very clear, especially as a parent, that you're going through a lot of, you're taking a lot of beating, a lot of hammering which has gone on, which has already happened. Not easy. I'm not a parent of a special needs child, but I can understand, I can put myself in their shoes. And I know it can be torturous. And if somebody's gone through that process for years together, then a lot of hammering has already happened. A lot of formations are there which might have already started manifesting in various psychosomatic ailments, for which science doesn't have any answer. You can't keep on taking painkillers and live the rest of your life. You can't. Yeah. So that addresses your question about whether it is difficult. Yes, it is difficult. Whether it is possible, absolutely possible. Whether it is desirable, highly desirable. As you yourself have said, you accept it. So do not think it is impossible. Very possible. But depending on your motivation, you will put in the effort as per how motivated you are. If your motivation is here, effort will be somewhere here. If your motivation is here, then effort will be here, here, here. Yes, please.
सर अगर फॉर एग्जाम्पल नींद का बीज बोने में आप नोइंगली और अननोइंगली पार्ट रहे हैं या वो बीज बोया जा रहा था और जब हमें फूड मिल रहा है वो कड़वा फूड मिल रहा है और हमें रियलाइज हुआ कि यस वी हैव डन समथिंग रॉन्ग और हम उसका करेक्शन चाहते हैं कि अब वो हमें कड़वा फूड ना मिले हम उसको स्टॉप कर दें, लेकिन जो हमारे आसपास के लोग हैं वो हमें बार बार इस चीज़ का एहसास दिला रहे हैं कि इस बीज को बोने में आपका भी हाथ था और आपको रेस्ट ऑफ योर लाइफ इसका ये कड़वा फल मिलेगा। और जब ऐसा होता है तो जो हमारा एक इमोशनल स्टेट होता है उस टाइम पे वो बहुत मुश्किल मतलब बहुत परेशानी वाला होता है और हम जिसको हम लेट गो कर चुके हैं जिस चीज़ को वो वापस सब माइंड में रिमाइंड होता है और ऐसा लगता है कि क्यों हुआ या हम उसका पार्ट क्यों हम लेट गो करना चाहते हैं लेकिन जो हमारे आसपास के लोग हैं वो हमें लेट गो करने नहीं देते। तो फिर ऐसे स्टेट में हम क्या करें? हमें पता है लाइफ टाइम में चलने वाला है और उससे फिर वही हमारी मेंटल पीस जा रही है। मेंटल पीस के साथ साथ बहुत सारी चीज़ें होती हैं जो बहुत प्रॉब्लम होती है। तो फिर ऐसे स्टेट में
तो ऐसे बहुत बारी जीवन में होगा, बहुत इंटेंस है। नोइंगली अननोइंगली हमने किया, अननोइंगली किया तो उसका फल उस एक्सटेंट पे नहीं मिलेगा। अननोइंगली किया क्योंकि हमारी वॉल्यूशन नहीं थी वो करने की, वो कर्म करने की। नोइंगली किया तो उसका पूरा ब्रंट हमको फेस करना पड़ेगा और इस एक्सेप्टेंस के साथ करना पड़ेगा कि हाँ ये मैंने ये चॉइस जीवन में ली और ये उसके कॉन्सिक्वेंस हैं। इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि उससे मुझे छुटकारा नहीं मिलेगा। जो लोग रिमाइंड कर रहे हैं वो उनका कुछ या अननोइंगली वो पेन इन्फ्लिक्ट कर रहे हैं, नोइंगली कर रहे हैं, वो उनका काम है। हमारे को अपने आप को कैसे वाटरप्रूफ करना है, अपने आप को हाउ डू यू प्रोटेक्ट योरसेल्फ। सो व्हेन जब ऐसी स्थिति उत्पन्न हो जब लोग आपको फिर रिमाइंड करें, फिर इट्स लाइक अगेन यू गेटिंग pricked, again you getting pain with that situation. Yeah. So in those moments, rather than उन क्षणों में, वो क्षण कुछ सेकंड के हो सकते हैं, कुछ मिनट के हो सकते हैं, उन क्षणों में जो पहले विशियस साइकिल चल पड़ती थी, अंदर द्वेष का भाव आता था उन लोगों के लिए जो ऐसा कुछ बोल रहे हैं या उस परिस्थिति के से जुड़े हुए मन के अंदर एवर्जन आती है, उस समय हमें जागरूक रहना है। सो व्हाट हैज हैपेंड इज, जो बीज बोया उसका फल आया, वो फल बार बार आ रहा है, वो उसका कॉन्सिक्वेंस है। हमको ये जानना है कि ये फल जो बार बार आ रहा है ये उसका कॉन्सिक्वेंस है। जरूरी नहीं है कि एक ही बार ही आए, उसका कॉन्सिक्वेंस है, रिपीट हो रहा है और मैं उसको मल्टीप्लाई कर रहा हूं क्योंकि मैं बार बार रिएक्ट कर रहा हूं, बार बार रिएक्ट कर रहा हूं। जब तक मैं रिएक्ट करता रहूंगा अपने आप को दुखी बनाता रहूंगा और जब मैंने ये रिएक्शन का प्रोसेस बंद कर दिया तो जो मैंने अपने सुख शांति की चाबी अपने आसपास के लोगों को दी हुई थी वो मैंने उनसे वापस ले ली। अभी कोई कुछ बोल के चले जाएगा, मैंने चाबी सबको दी हुई है कि हाँ तुम भी कुछ कह सकते हो, कुछ अनप्लेजेंट बोलोगे तो मेरी सुख शांति भंग हो जाएगी, तुम कुछ अनप्लेजेंट कर दोगे मेरी सुख शांति भंग हो जाएगी, क्योंकि मैंने अलाउ किया। जब मैं वो वापस ले लूंगा जो मैंने औरों को पावर दी हुई है अपने ऊपर, nobody can make me unhappy if I don't want to be. I choose not to be. And how can you do that? उन क्षणों में आप जागरूक रहे। And there are practices how you can do it. There's a procedure how you can do it. It requires rigor. मतलब पुरुषार्थ करना पड़ता है। अपने मानसिकता को बदलने के लिए, अपने कंफर्ट जोन से निकलने के लिए बहुत पुरुषार्थ करना पड़ता है, बहुत तपस्या करनी पड़ती है। नहीं तो पता नहीं, अगर आप पास्ट के रीबर्थ में बिलीव करते हैं तो पता नहीं कितने जन्मों का ये कंडीशनिंग चल रहा है, असंख्य जन्मों का कंडीशनिंग है। और अगर सिर्फ इसी लाइफ में बिलीव करते हैं तो भाई इस एक ही जन्म है, तो ऐसी बातों पे अपने आप को दुखी बनाकर जीवन को वेस्ट करेंगे, बहुमूल्य है ना। पीछे मुड़ के देखते हैं तो अपना बचपन लगता है, ये तो कल की बात है कि मैं भी इसी उम्र में था, जिन बच्चों के साथ मैं काम कर रहा हूँ उस उम्र में मैं भी it seems like it was yesterday. So time just whizzes past, and before you know it, this life will come to an end. Before you know it, it will come to an end. So don't have regrets. The worst thing which अपने आप को सबसे बड़ा पनिशमेंट दे सकते हैं अगर आपने कोई रिग्रेट जीवन में रखा। रिग्रेट नहीं रखना, कैसे ओवरकम करना है वी कैन डिस्कस मोर आफ्टर द ब्रेक। तो हाँ, आप उसको रखिए आफ्टर द ब्रेक। मेरे को तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, आई कैन कंटिन्यू सिटिंग एंड टॉकिंग फॉर अनदर 2 hours, बट आई थिंक पीपल वांट टू टेक अ ब्रेक। हाँ, yes, please do. I would request you to definitely share after the break. मेरे को I'm absolutely comfortable if बाकियों को कोई जल्दी नहीं है तो ये दोनों लोग अपना शेयर कर लेते हैं, उसके बाद जाए ब्रेक के लिए।
Yes, yes. Yeah.
I mean, nobody is holding on to a pee or anything. I'm sure even if somebody is, वो हाथ तो नहीं बोलेंगे। Okay, तो संक्षिप्त में आप दोनों शेयर कर लीजिए, then we'll take a break. पहले आप हाँ, तो जैसे अभी मैंने शेयर किया, हमारी वोल्यूशन क्या है, अनजाने में किया तो अब हम ये मानते हैं कि हमें हत्या नहीं करनी, हम जीवन में अपनाते हैं इस बात को। रास्ते पर चल रहे हैं, चलते चलते असंख्य छोटे छोटे कीड़े मकोड़े हमारे पैरों के तले, उनको मुक्ति मिल चुकी है इस योनि से, लेकिन हमारी इच्छा थी उनको मारने की। अगर इच्छा थी तो उसका फल वैसा मिलेगा, अगर इच्छा नहीं थी तो फिर we will not have those consequences. Be very clear. Another example, एक आदमी जंगल से जा रहा है या रात को स्ट्रीट्स में से गुजर रहा है और एक रॉबर आता है, उसको बोलता है कि ये चाकू निकाल के कि अपने सारे पैसे मुझे दो, मोबाइल फोन वगैरह। वो मना करता है, वो झगड़ा होता है, वो चाकू उसके पेट में डाल देता है और उसकी मृत्यु हो जाती है। वही आदमी, स्टोरी है, एग्जाम्पल, वही आदमी जाता है, उसके पेट में कुछ ट्यूमर है तो वो सर्जरी के लिए जाता है। सर्जरी करवाते दौरान जो सर्जन स्कैल्पल नाइफ है, नाइफ उसके स्टमक में डालता है उसके ट्यूमर रिमूव करने के लिए, उस प्रोसेस में उसकी डेथ हो जाती है। अब आप बताइए कि दोनों को फल कड़वा मिलेगा, उस क्रिमिनल को और डॉक्टर को, या अलग मिलेगा? क्यों? मृत्यु तो दोनों सिचुएशन में हुई है। हाँ, एग्जैक्टली, सो दैट्स योर आंसर। सो उसकी वोलेशन, उसकी मन की इच्छा, उसके मन का जो उस समय उसकी जो चेतना थी, या उसके मन की इंटेंशन थी, वो थी ग्रीड, हेट्रेड, एंगर। और जो सर्जन था, हो सकता है उसके भी मन में ग्रीड हो, क्योंकि वो सर्जरी कर रहा है, लेकिन वो चाहता नहीं था उसको मारना। इट वॉज कंपैशन, इट वॉज लव, और इट वॉज एटलीस्ट not negative. So they'll get rewarded or awarded differently. नहीं, तो आपने क्वेश्चन पूछा कि बच्चा कुछ करता है, राइट? हाँ, तो बच्चों को अभी से वो संस्कार दीजिए ना, वो ट्रेनिंग दीजिए उनको। आप स्पेशल एजुकेट या सो दे आर गोइंग थ्रू समथिंग, जो उनके जीवन में वो एक्सपीरियंस कर रहे हैं, वो एक कॉन्सिक्वेंस है which will take its complete time, that consequence. उसमें ये interventions हम क्या क्या दे सकते हैं ताकि उनका जो प्रोसेस है जीवन का, उसमें हम कहाँ कहाँ बाम लगा सकें, कहाँ कहाँ उनको अपलिफ्ट करने की पॉसिबिलिटीज दे सकें, वो हम कर सकते हैं। कितना वो उसमें से उभर कर, इंस्ट्रक्शन सुनकर intentionally कर पाए, that will depend on our love, compassion and tapasya with the work that we are doing for them. Yeah? Yes, please share.
सर, जैसे आपने शुरू में बोला कि लॉ ऑफ नेचर एंड लॉ ऑफ कर्मा, तो आई डू बिलीव इन लॉ ऑफ कर्मा, आई डू बिलीव इन लॉ ऑफ नेचर। तो मैंने पर्सनली एक्सपीरियंस किया है, व्हेन आई वाज अनमैरिड and I used to travel in metro, तो जब भी मुझे कोई नीडी पर्सन दिखता था तो भी हेल्पिंग के लिए मैं उनको सीट ऑफर कर दी, और मेरे सामने 10-20 लोग होते थे वो नहीं करते थे, तो इट डजंट मैटर कि उन्होंने किया नहीं किया, बट मैंने अपना जो काम था मैंने उनको ऑफर कर दी थी। फिर जब मेरी शादी हुई, जब मुझे अपने बेटे को लेकर कभी मेट्रो में जाना पड़ा, तब मुझे ज़रूरत ही नहीं पड़ी, मेरे को देखी और ऑब्वियसली सीट मिल ही जाती थी। तो मैंने इससे रिलेटेड मैंने ऐसा क्या किया था, तो तब मुझे रिलेट करता है कि लाइक मैंने भी तो सबको दी थी ना, जो मुझे आजकल ये फल मिल रहा है।
थैंक यू, ब्यूटीफुल शेयर। तो मैं जब
so
many, yes, absolutely, जब मैं स्कूल में था, मैं स्काउटिंग करता था, तो स्काउट्स होते हैं, तो उसमें वो कहते थे डू वन गुड डीड एवरी डे, तो हाथ में उंगली में एक रबर बैंड बांध लेता था, तो रबर बैंड को तब उतारता था जब गुड डीड कर लेते हो जाती थी, तो मैं वेट करता था बस में बैठ के कि कोई दिख जाए जिसके लिए उठ सकूं। So yeah, that reminded me of my younger days as well. तो कभी भी आप ट्रैवल करेंगे बस में, मेट्रो में, प्लेन में तो ये नौबत नहीं आएगी, बट या यू विल गेट योर सीट। हाँ जी, हाँ जी।
आपके अंदर तो खुद को खुश करने के लिए वो चीजें करते हैं, क्या आपको वो नजर आ रही है, क्या हम वो देखते हैं, क्या हम उनको सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं कि आप अपना घड़ा भर लो, फिर जब आप बड़े होगे तो फिर आप दूसरों का घड़ा बनना है।
Yes.
Yeah. If I may just take a leap out of whatever you said, as a family, we are linked to each one. So I do wrong, my family pays the price. Someone else, let's say my son does something wrong or my wife does, I will also pay the price. I will choose to go along, but I will also pay the price because we are linked. You may say materially, you may say emotionally, we all are. So, कोई खड़ा बनने वाली बात नहीं।
Yeah, so that's a very interesting perspective, but we'll take the break after this because I'm seeing this going up all around. So, additionally, what we can do for not only for our child but also for, of course, the wards that we are responsible for as caregivers. If I do forget, do remind me in the subsequent session how we can give the volition, it's called the feelings of goodwill. How I can share with them when I'm feeling good and tranquil, how I can share with them, which will have an impact, a very deep, profound impact on them. So we'll discuss more about that when we come back from the break. So break, I think, is about 15 minutes. 15 minutes, let's keep it 15 minutes so that we are able to make the best use of the time. Yeah. Thank you.